President Biden's American Families Plan could make college a reality for more students, offering free community college tuition for all Americans. But critics say the price tag's too high. NBC News political correspondent Ali Vitale caught up with two students who chose community college over a four-year degree because of the cost.
Hey, Allison, it's graduation season, so that means students and their families are thinking about the future. Now, community college has always been cheaper than traditional four-year colleges, but the Biden administration is looking to do even better. They're looking to make it free.
Miranda Kamakala was set to go to a private four-year college to study nursing.
I had felt this is a school for me.
Chris Gutzens earned a baseball scholarship to the University of Massachusetts Amherst. But when the students sat down with calculators, they discovered even with financial aid, the cost of a four-year degree didn't add up.
Amherst was north of $70,000 per year. Over 4 years, that's over $250,000.
I was figuring out the loans I was going to have to repay, and it just wasn't feasible.
That's why the two decided to go to community college instead. And they're hardly alone. According to a new poll, nearly half of American families are rethinking the value of a four-year college. Since 1985, the average cost of attending a four-year university has risen nearly 500%, resulting in sky-high student loan debt. Now, the Biden administration is looking to make higher education affordable for all, providing Americans with free community college.
Research shows when a young child goes to school, not daycare, they're far more likely to graduate from high school. When you add 2 years of free community college on top of that, you begin to change the dynamic.
Biden's proposal would waive tuition for 2 years of public community college and provide students cash to cover expenses, including childcare, mental health services, and tutoring, ushering millions of mostly black and brown students into higher ed. But the plan comes with a hefty price tag, $256 billion. And critics aren't so sure it's worth it, noting community colleges traditionally have high dropout rates and often don't lead to top-dollar jobs.
Community colleges don't have a great history of setting people up for, to make very high earnings. And so if we're getting people going to community colleges instead of a higher quality institution that they would have gone absent this additional funding, then we're actually making that person worse off.
Another potential pitfall? Biden's plan is a mixed bag for states, with some paying more to support community college programs than they already do. But back on campus, Chris says community colleges provide students with the kind of practical job training many four-year schools lack.
I actually have a job already lined up for when I graduate this summer, working for a hip-hop company. I think community colleges, people need to realize how beneficial they actually are. I hope more people do realize that.
And Allison, two things to keep in mind here. The first is on the policy front. This is a move towards racial equity, removing the financial barriers for mostly black and brown students to find a path into higher education. And then the second piece of this is the destigmatization of community college. In all of the conversations that I had with experts and community college students, they all made clear that this is a choice that they made. It wasn't a fallback plan. For people like Miranda, she says that she's getting hands-on training from her professors who have real-life experience that they've imparted on her. For Chris, you heard him say this at the end of our piece. He has a job lined up for after he graduates because he was able to get on-the-job training from his professors. And for Sarah, one of the students who I also spoke to but who you didn't hear from in this piece, she may still transfer to a four-year college. All of these things show the different pathways that these students are using community college for, something that the Biden administration hopes to highlight if this plan, part of its larger American Families Plan, actually gets passed through Congress at some point this year.
It didn't